we got a chance, all three of us, so Rich, Alex, and myself, to go to opening night live with Jeff Keighley. And it was our first time actually attending the show. Now that I think about it, I actually did a show many, many years ago for the Phantom Pain, where I was invited to the theater, and Jeff was still there, I believe. But ONL was quite a thing, I would say. So getting into the whole hall, like we had our tickets, but there was a lot of stress about where the heck do we go. You're walking for ages on these carpets. There's like twists and turns, and the mesa where Gamescom and ONL takes place is a gigantic complex. It is so big. There's so many buildings. It takes a while to actually get to your location. But the way it was set up was just a giant room full of chairs. And it was actually significantly bigger than any of the typical, like, say, company trade or press conferences that I had been to in the past, right? It was cool to see it. Unfortunately, we were sitting pretty far back, so Alex, I guess we had to kind of rely on those large panels, sort of like hung. I guess it was projection screens hung above our heads to see what was going on.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. I've been to, like, with Oliver, like CES, the keynote by Jensen Huang was actually spectacularly larger than this. That was like stadium seating.
Wait, really? It was that big?
It was way bigger, yeah. That was ridiculous. But also, if you just look, it's like, in terms of what is like changing society more at the moment, it's less Jeff Keighley. But anyway, no offense to Jeff.
Alex.
But it was I thought it was an interesting experience, and it was really nice seeing people who would talk to us. But the presentation of trailer after trailer after a while, like, my goodness, that is it's a bit too much. Actually, and especially when you're there live, the sensory overload is intense because it is beyond loud. Like, I was just like constantly like this. It was way too loud. I didn't bring any hearing protection because I thought they would be a bit more mindful of the audience, but my goodness, was that loud. It's just if you ever get the opportunity, I could recommend going, but then see for yourself it's something you'd ever want to do again, because the format of the show leaves a little bit to be desired. It would be cool if it was kind of broken up into having other segments that just weren't trailer after trailer. But yeah.
I will say, though, Alex, the thing that was most exciting for me was the pre-show hosted by Kyle Bossman himself.
Right.
It started off with some excellent stuff. There was Bubsy 4D that kicked things off, which was funny. But I think for me, what was very exciting, both in terms of the game and also personally, everybody, of course, is familiar with Masters of the Universe, right? Well, what if I told you that the director for this amazing-looking game was right here? Here he is. Get down there.
Well, hello, John.
Hello.
I was just window shopping on my knees, and I didn't know you were here.
We have a special get on in here. So we have this special guest right here. It's Audie Surley. He's back, and he has his latest game. It's Masters of the Universe.
Where am I?
Oh, sorry, I warped him in here. He shouldn't be here.
Well, yes, Masters of the Universe, He-Man, and Masters of the Universe, Dragon Pearl of Destruction.
Oh, sorry, I didn't say the full name.
I have to fit on this spine of a Switch case somehow. So that'll be funny.
But yes, for in all seriousness, this game is looking incredible. Bitmap Bureau working with Audi to develop it, the Xenocrisis guys, Final Vendetta, and Terminator 2D as well coming up.
No Fate.
Yeah. So do check it out. It's very, very cool. And thanks for coming all the way here, Audie, the director, just to say that.
Yeah.
Now you can go.
I'll fly home now.
He goes back to his home planet.
But I think in addition to that, one of the highlights for me was DENSATTACK, which is that train game,
right?
Where it's essentially like Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam, but you're a train.
Yeah, it was. I saw it also at the Xbox booth. I think it was the PC version they were showing off there. The Xbox booth actually had quite a number of PC games, which was kind of cool. And it was running really well, but it seemed pretty hard. A lot of people were actually falling off the rails like constantly when I was watching.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So it seems to have like the grind mechanic where you have to steady yourself. like rather often. So that's where I think it was losing a lot of people. But it was funny, it was loud, it was fast, it was pretty good. Another game that I thought at the ONL, I think it was announced at the pre-show, the original pre-show, was they actually did show off Dawn of War 4, and I did play it on the show floor. And just so people in the audience know, it is it's more like Dawn of War 1. So all the previews out there are probably saying the same thing, but if that's your cup of tea, it's basically like a direct sequel to Dawn of War 1.
I love that. That was one of my favorite parts of the show, actually, because I could see Alex in person getting genuinely excited for something after sitting there looking at your phone half the time, like, and then like Dawn of War comes on, and you're like, oh shoot, this is it, this is lit.
Yeah, like this is lit. Yeah, wow. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff there that didn't appeal to me, and there were a lot of moments where, like, I don't know, it was between like the 30th anime game, where I was just like, I swear I saw this earlier in the show. There was also a lot of free-to-play games which started looking samey after a while. A couple, though, that didn't, which were intriguing. There was that horror shooter. I forget the name of it. It was like, gosh, I can't remember the name of it. But it was like a mix between like a horror game and a tactical shooter. And someone, kind of like the game Evolve, plays the monster. It seemed actually like a pretty interesting idea. But other than that, yeah, not too many things stood out to me in a big way.
Oh yeah, it is. They did announce the next Wukong game, I guess. Or wait, no, it was the next Black Myth game. Sorry, it's Black Myth, not Wukong. It's the next. But
I forget the name of the character. Sorry,
that showed up at the end there, so that was nice. They had another Resident Evil Requiem trailer, but it was a weird, wild time. And I actually kind of generally prefer watching it at home from the stream. So,
Oliver, what was it like? You watched it after the fact as a stream, I imagine, right?
I watched it live in part. No, I was actually on vacation, supposedly. It was a very eventful vacation work-wise, but I was on vacation, so I was out with my family, and I was looking at my phone every 10 minutes and scrolling through the live feed. But, to be honest, out of all the games that were shown, I mean, I think we've gone through most of the games that were shown in some capacity that had some interest. Obviously, Resident Evil, pragmatic titles like that. Cronos, interesting. Another show.
Right.
I played Cronos, by the way.
You played Cronos, okay.
I should mention that.
Do you have any thoughts on Cronos, Alex?
I played the PC version with 4K DLSS on a big PC, and it was a lot like a much more intimate Dead Space. The environments were much more claustrophobic and even cluttered than Dead Space, if you can imagine that.
Oh, okay.
And pretty cool mechanic about how you have to charge each weapon shot or you deal less damage. So it's like you're constantly fighting with, do I preserve my ammo or not preserve it and do more damage, or do I have enough time to even do that? And if you leave any of the enemies in the room for any period of time, they will start like morphing and combining into each other and becoming more powerful. So you have to like take care of them really quickly. It was a very smart idea. It's a UE5 game. I do have to unfortunately report though that there were kind of like 3 very large stutters in the demo that were a little concerning. Yeah, they weren't small. They were like literally like everyone stops for a second. I don't know what caused them, but I actually thought Cronos was visually it was a little bit messy due to like TSR stuff going on. Oh wait, no, it wasn't DLSS quality. I'm messing up my games. It was actually TSR. Some stuff with like the shadows specifically, but it was otherwise I thought it was visually quite a cool looking game. And
did you think it's like
yeah, sorry,
Lumen, VSM, Nanite, that whole deal, or what are you thinking there?
I think it was. I didn't see any popping in the environment. The thing is, due to the camera, I really couldn't even get a sense of like what version of Lumen it was using. It was, but there wasn't a lot of, for example, there wasn't a lot of noise in the indirect lighting at all. So it didn't like stand out to me as, something obviously bad. That stuff all looked good. I did like the game though. It's like a mix of like Resident Evil plus, obviously Dead Space, which is heavily inspired by Resident Evil 4. A lot of similarities, and you have like to like craft some stuff. together to make the stuff all work. It's not an easy game too. It seems like a lot of people were dying when playing it. I noticed that. It's not easy. So, but it did look good. Bloober.